I'm really sad today. I found out in the newspaper that my friend Ellis Truett has passed away. I seen an auction announcement. We're going to be auctioning off a bunch of his stuff this coming weekend, and I'm not sure when he passed away, but I know that I always enjoyed going to his house. It was full of awesome antiques, and he was always kind to show us things and let us play his instruments, and he'd play his dulcimers that he made for us and take us out to the schoolhouse, the Truett schoolhouse, and the girls, when I homeschooled them, we got to do all kinds of fun stuff there. And I went one year on, well, I think it was for my 40th birthday. We went out there for my had a little retreat, and my mother and father-in-law went with us out there, and I took my mom and dad out there another time. My brother Darren's been out there. That was one of the things to do when company came. We take a trip out to Mr. Truett's and let him show off all his stuff to my family. And then I saw him, Mark and I saw him a couple times out at the Mifflin Mall, which is a little place where we'd go out and eat. It wasn't really a mall, that's just what they called it. And he liked to eat his meals there. We'd see him there, and we saw him here in town at Jack's one time eating. Went and talked to him there. Saw him at Casey Jones. He'd like to go out there and play his dulcimer and some of his other instruments, and I think he went out there a lot. We didn't go out there very much, but a couple times that I was out there, the same time he was out there. And also, one day, Darren and I went out to his house, and he wasn't there, and it was a really freaky thing, so I called the police department, the Henderson one, to get the Lexington's one's number and call and ask them, and they told me to go in the house and see if he was there, and I opened up the door and stuff, and he wasn't there. There was instruments all over the floor and stuff like that, and I said, no, he's not here, and so we went out. But a little bit later, he came pulling up in his vehicle, and he had just got out of the nursing home like the day before or something, so he had been sick at that time too. This was several years ago, so I know he's been having some health issues, and we didn't know when he had passed away, but we knew that he was getting close to the end because he'd been so sick. But we really enjoyed going out there. He was an awesome guy. Just always had interesting stories to tell. I got videotapes of some that I taped personally of just some of the little things that we do. I got him on my cell phone even yet. One of the clips is him playing Amazing Grace on his dulcimer. And we like to hear him play some of the fun songs too. Froggy Went A-Courtin', and I don't know, some of just the really silly fun songs, folk songs. And he had lots of auto harps, and he had accordions. He had a harmonica that was like several different harmonicas all over that you would turn the different keys. He had violins and other instruments hanging from the ceiling in one room. Just his house was full of awesome stuff, and his house itself was made out of old log cabins and things that he had found. He had one tree that had like a face on it, and he said that he found it that way. Kind of one of those. They're expensive if you go try to buy them, the antique things. He had one of those. Braided rugs on the floor. He had this display case out of an old general store. Something that had like spools of thread. He had quilts, trunks, just those Tennessee music boxes like my husband made for me. We got the idea from him. He gave me the papers on how to build one. In fact, he told us one time he had a whole box of bent, for the hourglass shaped dulcimers. He had a whole bunch of those sides already bent, and he told me if I knew anybody who would make dulcimers that they could have those, and we never got them. We didn't. I don't know. Maybe he found somebody else to give them to or anything. But I was just like, oh, we could have had those. But anyway, he was just really. He was just awesome, and we just enjoyed so much. Oh, he had a hammer dulcimer that a blind person had made, and he liked to show us that. And he had little quill feathers that he would play. his dulcimers with. And trying to think, it's just his house was just full of neat things. In his living room, he had photographs of the presidents on the wall, and he was just really into history, and he was just a historian. Incredible guy. I met him through Juanita, Canada. That's who introduced us. And we even took her out there one day with us, and they had a really good time, reminiscing old times. She knew him when his wife was still alive, and so they had a lot of stuff to talk about that I had no clue what that was. But yeah, he was just a really good friend of ours. And he told Miss Juanita, or Juanita told us that he told us that he wanted us to have the dulcimer that he gave us. Well, we was just borrowing it to start with, but he wanted us to. I took it back out to him one day, and he told us to keep it. And then she told us no. She said that he wanted me to have it for my girls because he really was impressed by the way I was raising them. So anyway, we still got that, the one that Mr. Ellis Truett made and gave to us. The girls took it to ACT Student Convention and entered it, and played songs for the competitions. And we've used it a lot during the course of our years that we've had it. And I'm glad I got it. I'm glad I have the DVD and the documentations that the college in Nashville, Murfreesboro, did about old-time dulcimers. I've got that he gave me. And I'm trying to think, there seem like there's just a couple of things, but most of the time I got lots and lots of memories. We had really good times out there, and I'm gonna really miss him. You know, you don't really appreciate people until they're gone. But I think he knew we loved him. In fact, my mom, she would send him Christmas cards every Christmas after she had got to meet him. She was really impressed by him too. And I just told my husband, I said, he goes, I'm going to stop buying you newspapers because you always find stuff in it. But anyway, I would have found out another way anyhow. But I told him, I said, it's like a family member has passed because he's almost like my grandpa. He put me in mind a lot of my grandpa. My grandpa Chilton was really into music and full of a wealth of information like that. And so Mr. Ellis Truett really put me in mind of my grandfather. It was really special to me. And I'm going to miss going down that country road that looked like it was leading you to nowhere, but it brought you to the neatest little house. The neatest country house, and he had barns with tons of wood, just old barns, and then like I mentioned, that schoolhouse back there behind it, ponds, just trees of all kinds, had nut trees out there, and I'm thinking persimmon maybe, those little orange, he had those, they look like little oranges, but I don't know the name of it. He had those. I think they turned like the green, they're really bright green, or maybe they started off bright green then turned orange, I don't know. But he had berries. I think I already said he had nuts. He had pecans, lots and lots of pecans. In fact, he had an electronic pecan sheller in his house because he had so many pecans. And I don't know, just whoever gets that house, it's got a treasure. Whoever gets that schoolhouse has got a treasure. And whoever not just anybody probably want that house because his wife is buried under the tree. One of his wives, I think he was married, I know he was married twice, he may have been married 3 times, but one of his wives, they built that house together. It was like his sweetheart, but then after she passed, he met another woman and was married to her, and I think she was quite a bit younger than him. She played the auto harp, and I don't know if she got cancer or what, but she passed away also. Of course, he lived to be quite old. When I met him, he was old, and then I've known him for at least 10 years, maybe 15 years, maybe almost 15 years I've known him. So anyway, I'm really going to miss him. But he'll always be here in my heart and in my memory. Everybody that knew him loved him. And I hope I can carry the torch a little bit and keep the dulcimer alive a little bit. I can't play like he could play, but he's right. He says it's a pacifier. If you don't have anything to do, or you have a few moments that you just want to feel with doing something more than just sitting, the dulcimer is a great pacifier. It's just awesome. A little instrument to play. It's easy to play, and it's very soothing. And anyway, Mr. Ellis Truett, I love you. I miss you. And I've been going to come and see you again, but I never really had a good reason to. I couldn't take my van. My van doesn't have reverse, so that was part of the reason I never came out and seen you for a long, long time. And plus, I'd known you'd been sick, and I didn't want to go all the way out there and find out that you was at the nursing home or something. And a couple times I tried to call you, and I just got your answer machine, and it was full. And so you might not have been there. But anyway, to all that knew and loved Mr. Ellis Truett, we have a common thread of love. He knew how to love people, and he loved music. And I love music, and I love people. So we're kindred spirits. Anyway, that's it.